One thing that's happened is after our Enter the Matrix game went out, we were very lucky. It was a massive hit. It was #1 literally all over the world. We ended up selling nearly 6 million copies. But clearly gamers, we had done interviews with gamers before we released the game, and they were like, we want to be Neo. We want to bend over backwards and avoid bullets. And it was something we knew, and the directors knew it, and we had been discussing what could we do, because we really felt obliged to make a game starring Neo. The directors had some really neat ideas on how we could do this and how we could make it different and how we could enhance that experience. For example, changing the ending of the third movie so that it would be more interesting for gamers. They've got all kinds of ideas, but it meant that they had a lot of work to do in the game. They would have to re-edit all the movie footage to change the actual movies. The Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions, the Animatrix, they'd have to re-edit it all together so we could see it from the perspective of Neo. If they were willing to do all of that, which they were, it would require all kinds of other work to be done with the re-editing, redoing all the music, the sound, creating new environments for you to go to, because the path of Neo is somewhat set in a movie because you just accept what happens. So if Neo is standing on a window ledge and he's scared of the height, he's not willing to continue, and so in the movie he's captured and that's the end of it. Whereas in a video game you might not be scared of the height and you might want to continue. That's a problem because now the directors have to make 2 different edits to the movie footage for what would happen if you went one way versus another. So it all sounded great, but it turned into quite a complex task, and they've worked very hard on it, and so have we. And the result is a game where you really are getting to be Neo, but you're getting to be Neo in quite a flexible way. So you're getting to almost be the one yourself. And we had, because we have all 3 movies, we have all the different things that you would expect to do through all 3 movies. So we have all the incredible martial arts and that kind of stuff. But there's some scenes in the movie that are quite scary for a developer, like the one in Reloaded where Neo decides, well, he doesn't decide, he ends up having a fight with a whole bunch of Smiths. Now, it wasn't like 10 Smiths or 50 Smiths or 100 Smiths. We're talking hundreds of Smiths. And so, my programmers have been working so hard on trying to find a way to get the PlayStation 2, for example, to display hundreds and hundreds of Smiths. But to my amazement, to Sony's amazement, they've managed to get 1,500 Smiths on screen, all running simultaneously. And so I guess the hurdles that we were really worried about, would the directors have the time to do all this work? Can the PlayStation 2 handle some of the things like seeing everything in code or having tons of characters on screen or all the various movie effects that you saw? Is it possible? And the answer is yes, So this game is not by any means what we were doing in Enter the Matrix. It's all the stuff we wished we could have done for Enter the Matrix, but on steroids, almost beyond what we would really expect. We even have new technology that's just never been done on the PlayStation before, like normal mapping, which is a hot thing on PC, and it's now very hot in Xbox games, but it's not something you would normally see on a PlayStation 2. And so visually the game should be beautiful, and we have Hollywood people working on the art with us to make sure that the visuals are just incredible. We have all the moves that you would expect Neo to do. We have flying and fighting in the air and targeting in 3 dimensions, but we're mixing in authentic bullet time. And all of the old tricks that you've seen in games before broke for us because, like if you look in games where it's raining, the trick that all teams use is they have long raindrops this long laying in front of the screen. So if you look to the right, they move the rain there and they have rain falling here, and you look this way and the rain is just covering the window that you're looking through. In our situation, what happens when you go into bullet time? We have to have the rain turn into individual raindrops and be able to see all of that. So a lot of the things that you just accept as how to make a video game, we had to rethink and find better ways to do. So this project has been much more than making a sequel. It's been a work of passion for a lot of very talented individuals. And we've learned a lot from Enter the Matrix. We didn't have even nearly enough people working on the game to do all the things we needed to do. So in this game we have 3 times as many people, plus lots of contractors. And as a result, we have a huge amount of manpower going into it. So every day I come into the office, I see these incredible new things. So right now, Path of Neo is taking really good shape, and I think people will like it. One of the things we thought was very important for Path of Neo was to make sure to include a lot of the authentic things that you would have seen just mentioned in passing during the, say, the Matrix movie, like training, for example. It says, Neo says, I know Kung Fu. But the question is, what's going on inside those training programs while they're being downloaded into him? What would the experience be if you were to go into an individual training program and have a look? Of course, he did one in the dojo with Morpheus, so of course we have that in the game, but there's others. And the others teach you how to use samurai swords and things like that. And they are done in very interesting styles because the Wachowskis are fans of old Kung Fu movies and things like that. So we have black and white footage of your playing in old samurai movies and things like that. And it creates a very interesting style and feel to the game as you go through. The twist is we don't really, movies tend to be quite short compared to how long we want a game to be. So if a scene is condensed to get it into the 3 minutes that it's allowed in a movie or the 5 minutes that it gets of airtime, we want that to last longer. So our sequences tend to go on where the movie had to leave. And so our lobby scene has some other stuff that goes on in it, or our dojo scene has more in it. When we're fighting all the Smiths, you can literally destroy the entire area. And it's one of the joys we get as game developers, really, compared to making a movie where they're constantly thinking about what they have to cut out to try to keep that 2-hour time frame. We don't need to do that. We can let you explore and have some fun. So that's the path that we've chosen for the game, is one where you feel some freedom. Of course, you are going to follow the path of Neo. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But you are going to be able to build your character as you go. You'll get extra abilities. You'll be able to see things in code, for example. But these are all abilities that you earn as time goes on. You will earn the ability to completely fly, but that's something that you earn as you go on. Some of them you have to physically earn. Some of them we reward you so that the movies and the games still tie together perfectly. But ultimately, the path of Neo is going to be your path, and whatever you do and the decisions you make will be up to you.